Good morning. It's great to be with you here today. Scott, MEC team, thank you for all you've done to make this happen. And a round of applause for our great musicians who do a fabulous job day in, day out. Thank y'all. And I'm so excited that you all are here. Thank you for taking the time to be here, to network with one another, to talk about best practices, to get to know each other and talk about the future of the state of Mississippi, because we are so blessed that we live in the state of Mississippi. You know, it's just been such an honor for me, very humbling experience for myself and my family, to have served as your state treasurer for the last 8 years. It truly has been blessing for us time and time across as we've been across the state to be with you all. You know, we've enjoyed the opportunity to serve. I have been very fortunate. I have a great team, and we've done a lot of things together. And I say that together because you as MEC members have been partners all the way through. And in the last 8 years, we've been able to do a lot of things together, things that I've discussed at this podium year in and year out. And I want to talk about those very quickly. Ever since I've been in the treasurer's office, we've talked about financial education. You all have been partners. And guess what? What was the end game? The end game was to allow students to have the opportunity to learn about financial education before they graduated from high school. And guess what? Every student, 9th grade or above now, must have financial education before they are able to graduate. Well, we did that. That was a true team partnership effort. That's exciting. That is changing the financial culture of our state. And then time and time again, we've been able to partner up on unclaimed property. And I've got a great team, works on unclaimed property. I was just talking with some folks earlier. They've been in their communities. But here's what we've done together with unclaimed property. It doesn't belong to the state. It belongs to every one of us. And so working together, being out across our state, just since I've been in office, we have been able to return $100 million back to people across the state of Mississippi. $100 million is a game changer, an economic driver. So I'm so appreciative of that partnership. You know, we've also talked about college savings. How could we better participate and have people save for the future, which are our children? And so I'm proud to say is we work together in a partnership. Over 200 of you employers are providing payroll deposit. Payroll deposit, depositing in the future of a child, because they are 7 times more likely to further their education if they have someone that saved and believed in them. So again, what an exciting time we've been able to do that together. So those are a few of the highlights that I've been able to visit with you every time I've been up here to talk about what we're doing with one another. But now I'm ready. I'm ready to serve as your Attorney General. I am prepared. I feel like we have successfully done what you asked me to do and hired me to do as your state treasurer. But now I'm ready to lead as your Attorney General. And truly, I have the experience. I have 34 years of legal practice. And I started my career at the Attorney General as a Special Assistant Attorney General. So I'm ready to go. And I'm prepared because I've had the very good opportunity to serve and lead complex state agencies, to work with private practice members, private practice lawyers across the state. I've been in private practice. I've had the opportunity to serve as counsel to the legislature. So I have the intersection of law and policy and finance and administration. That makes me ready to go day one serving as your Attorney General. Now we've got some things we got to do together. There's no question about it. But as your Attorney General, you can expect and know that you can count on me to always continue to champion and support our law enforcement. We all should be supporting our law enforcement every day. Our first responders, we couldn't live and do what we do if we didn't have great law enforcement. And I encourage you, if you see any of our law enforcement, any of our first responders, you take a minute and go tell them thank you, because they make our communities, our state, safe and to allow us to continue to prosper. Certainly I'm going to be very strong and smart and diligent about crime. I'm going to prosecute those that take advantage and they perpetrate fraud and abuse across our Mississippians. So you can count on me to prosecute. You can also count on me to protect our most vulnerable, our children, our elderly, our mental health patients, our crime victims, and certainly our military, our veterans. So protection. And one of the things that's most important, as you all are here today, is to partner with the business community, partner with our businesses on every level. You know, I've done that at the Attorney General, at the Treasurer's office, and I'm going to extrapolate that and bring that right on in to the AG's office. Important to have that healthy conversation, dialogue, and a positive partnership with our business community. Know that I will always protect our Second Amendment rights, always, as I will always protect and uphold our Mississippi values, our Mississippi values. When those people want to come in and impose their values from outside, know that you can count on me to protect our Mississippi values. That is my job as your Attorney General. We have a few other things we got to talk about, and they're hard topics. We got to talk about this opioid crisis that's going on across our country and in our state. But what do we need to do? We need to work together. We need to drive towards solutions. And as your Attorney General, you can count on me to rally people together. This is a team effort. It takes every one of us to make a difference. And we know that the opioid crisis, it affects everyone. It doesn't matter about your race, gender, your socioeconomic status, but we have to be engaged to make a difference. We need to start early. We need to bring the education fact to our children. And when we work together, we know we can make positive results happen. And right along with that comes human trafficking. I will still have people say to me today, do we have human trafficking in our state? Yes. Do we have it in our country? Yes. Well, what do? We are going to fight to end human trafficking in the state of Mississippi. And you can count on me to lead that team. We need resources. We need tools for these individuals. And they're primarily young children. We have to help them get back into society without any shame or blame. They didn't ask to be trafficked, and we want to help them get to a positive world where they're back and they're no longer a victim. So those are some of the highlights that you can count on me to work on your behalf and to serve as your Attorney General. You all know me very well. I've always run a positive campaign. I'm always going to be talking about the positive future of the state of Mississippi. And know that I will continue to be a positive leader. Because again, we live in a great state. And we're going to continue to make wonderful things happen on behalf of our state. And as your Attorney General, know that I will certainly do that on your behalf. Now, we're only a few days away, and I will continue to very diligently ask for your support. I need your support as we round out these last few days. I need your vote, and I ask for your vote. But most importantly, I ask for your prayers. I ask for your prayers for my family and for me. Thank you so very much, and may God bless each of you. Thank you. Thank you.
I enjoy being your insurance commissioner. I go to work knowing I make a positive difference in the lives of all Mississippians. I'm running for re-election simply for one reason, to continue making a difference for all Mississippians. Over the past year, I've approved several decreases in automobile and homeowner rates. And that's important because we've stabilized rates in the state of Mississippi. We passed legislation this year that removed assessments on every policyholder in the state for any shortfalls that would occur during a catastrophic event. This is important to know because we put that assessment burden back on the companies where it belongs. That's a major game changer for us. There's more good news. This year we have a new provider on the healthcare exchange, Molina Healthcare. This addition is a good thing for families in Mississippi because up until now they've had only one choice on the ACA. Now you have two choices in at least 19 counties where we only had one choice before. Increased competition lowers insurance rates. It's just that simple. I want to speak very briefly about Medicare for All. If Medicare for All were adopted by Washington, it would be a total collapse of U.S. health care. It won't work the way it's done. Rural hospitals and health care companies need innovation. 5 hospitals have been shuttered in the last 5 years, and 5 are in bankruptcy. I mentioned that last year, the first person to bring that up. Now we have 4 more on the verge of closing or filing, and the list will grow without intervention and regulation. Expanding Medicaid will not solve the problem. I repeat, expanding Medicaid will not solve the problem. Healthcare providers, and that includes hospitals and other providers, claim that the federal government does not pay them enough for Medicaid and Medicare health costs. So they want to charge those with private health insurance over 60% more for the same health services to make higher profits. If Medicaid programs are expanded without being evaluated, private insurance premiums will go up. We need innovative approaches to deliver health care and more utilization of telemedicine and telehealth in this state. More changes are on the horizon for health care. By this time next year, when you go to buy your Halloween candy and you go to Walmart, you may be able to see a health care provider. Soon, Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS plan to offer health care in their stores. It may be a partial answer to the rural health care problems that we're seeing in our state. I want to commend my friend, Secretary of State Delbert Holzman, for working with us last year to remove the age limit on autistic children. This is a game changer for 75,000 children in the state of Mississippi. And that ought to deserve a round of applause when you do something to take care of the children of the state of Mississippi. While we continue to fight for a solution to our problems, we've helped consumers who have fallen victims to some of the air ambulance charges that we see that are outrageous, as much as $50,000. And we've been able to mitigate every one that's been turned into us over the last 24 months. I cannot tell you how many thousands of dollars people have spent needlessly for that transportation. We had a lady, and it's not on the script, I'll just tell you, flew 12.1 miles, Blue Cross Blue Shield, paid $20,000 approximately of that air ambulance from Brandon to the Baptist Hospital. She got a $23,000 bill in the mail for balance billing 2 weeks later. We got that removed, but that's part of the issues that we face daily at the department. So, in the weeks ahead, after the elections are over, you will hear that I'm directing a special targeted market conduct examination against certain payors, and that means health insurance companies, to address issues like operation and management, handling of complaints, service to policyholders, claim practices, credentialing of providers, and that means credentialing of doctors to be in the system, utilization review, that's like a heart vest or proton treatment, external review of denials to cover patients' medical procedures, and drug coverage approval. The MID Consumer Service Division has collected over $35 million in benefits paid directly to consumers without going through the legislature during the last decade, and they will continue to do that job. They're people that work every day for the consumers of this state. This year, we took a proactive approach to protect your personal information from all of the hacking that goes on with the passage of a cybersecurity law that affects strictly insurance. The department has received grants this year also to use funds to create something called www.midhelps.org. It's a dedicated website to help you understand health insurance and your health care benefits. As I've often said, and I say quite frequently, if you cannot insure something, you cannot finance it. Insurance is vital to economic growth, and it touches so many industries in our state, from workers' compensation for business to fair commercial insurance for transportation, trucking, and agriculture. We make sure that health insurance is available for employees and that there are fair homeowner rates so that people have a decent place to live. Additionally, in my capacity as your state fire marshal, I'm glad to report that fire deaths are down this year. However, in 70% of all cases that we investigate in this state of fire deaths, there was no working smoke alarm. If you want to save a life, buy a smoke alarm. If you've got somebody that you know that doesn't have one, give them a gift, a $20 smoke alarm. You can save their life. If you know they need one and you can't afford the $20, call your fire department. They'll go out and put one in for you. We've got grant money. We bought 23,000 more smoke alarms this year and give them out to the consumers of this state through the volunteer fire departments and our paid fire departments. I'm proud to report that fire rates have improved, saving homeowners rates on insurance. Since the Rural Fire Truck Program's inception in 1995, the program is estimated to save Mississippi homeowners in excess of $1.6 billion because fire rates drop when there are more trucks in your community, directly affecting insurance rates. This program has put more money into consumer pockets than any tax cut ever has, because for every $1 invested, consumers have received over $30 in benefits. Poultry is a leading industry in our state. It's valued at nearly $3 billion. There are more than 1,400 broiler farms and hundreds of layer houses in the state, and yet these farmers pay increasingly higher premiums for insurance on their chicken houses. Only a small number of insurance companies and insurance providers are willing to write coverage for poultry farmers, largely because of the expense replacement costs for destroyed or damaged poultry houses. Each house costs in excess of $250,000 to $300,000. You can imagine what it's like if you have a tornado or a fire. I'll be talking to the farmers in Laurel, Mississippi at 11 o'clock this morning, so I will leave here immediately after I leave this podium. I thank you for letting me be here today. I'm on my way to Jones County. May God bless you, the great state of Mississippi, and these United States of America. Have a great election.
I attended this event last year, and I knew I was going to run for state treasurer, and I've been looking forward to this event ever since. Public and private sectors will be greatly affected by the vote next Tuesday. So much is at stake, but I have confidence in Mississippi. Mississippians have always understood the importance of making Mississippi a business-friendly state. In fact, we're actually credited with being the birthplace of modern economic development, going back to Governor Hugh White and his balance of agriculture with industry program. Mississippians understand that government doesn't create jobs, but it can greatly help or it can greatly hurt based upon the disposition of the public officials. Yet, Mississippi's tradition of promoting Mississippi with public and private partnership has continued today with Governor Phil Bryant, as we've seen record low unemployment with thousands of jobs created by Mississippi for Mississippians. As many of you know, my family created a business here in Mississippi. We created McCray Department Stores and grew to be one of the largest department stores in the state as well as the southern region. We benefited primarily from the good work of the MEC, the MDA, and other entities that came before them. Lower taxes, limited government, good transportation, available land, and good incentives are all of these provided a strong economic growth for the McCray family and the McCray department stores. Now, Mississippi is a wonderful place to live. We all know this. Yet we have to continue telling and selling Mississippi to everybody else around the country and the world. So many people in this nation and around the world want to judge us on a past that is long gone. But it's up to us and the people in this room to write the narrative for Mississippi's future. That's what the men and women here at the MEC and MDA are doing every day. They're selling the real Mississippi. They're selling what folks get and making folks sure that Mississippi is a modern place that is ready to work and invest for the long term. As many of you know, I'm not a politician. I've never held public office, yet I feel I am called to serve as your next state treasurer. I'm proud that my background is one that has blessed me with the resources to invest in Mississippi. I'm proud that the McCray Foundation has been able to give back to Mississippi, especially in the capital area, through education, housing, and health. And while I'm proud to be the Republican nominee for state treasurer, I'm equally proud of my private sector business background and my ability to run this race independently. I will not be beholden to anybody, to any special interest, to any donor, but I will be beholden to the taxpayers. My priority will always be to the taxpayers of Mississippi. My background as a businessman and an investor gives me a unique skill set to be your next state treasurer. Now, the race for state treasurer is often one that is overlooked, but we should never discount this office, especially those who want to see us run government more efficiently. Now, a lot of people always wonder what the state treasurer's office actually does. In essence, the state treasurer is the Bank of Mississippi. It is the chief financial officer of Mississippi. It safeguards and manages Mississippi's investments and makes sure that we find profitable new investments. It issues state debt and makes sure that our debt is paid in a timely manner. It manages programs that affect Mississippians, such as unclaimed property, and helps kids go to college through Impact and the MEC programs. And I'm proud to say, as of this year, the state treasurer manages the funds for the ABLE Act. The ABLE Act is a fund that helps parents who can help loved ones who have been disabled. And I look forward, as your next state treasurer, to shepherd this program along. Throughout my campaign, I've advanced 4 basic principles. First, I wanted to increase transparency. I want to make sure that you all know how our investments are being handled on a day-to-day basis. I want to have a good, sound investment strategy. We're at record highs in our economy, and there is no reason why Mississippi should not take advantage of the record highs that we are seeing today. I want to minimize our debt, maximizing the state's credit rating. I sit on the state treasurer sits on the bond board, and I want to be an active member of this bond board, making sure that we can leverage Mississippi's good name and make good deals, not just for the optics of today, but for good deals down the road that will benefit Mississippi's future. And also, constituent services. Taxpayers are the boss. We can never forget this. And their hard-earned money deserves to be managed well. That was the hallmark of McCray Department Stores, and that'll be the hallmark of my office if I'm elected as your next state treasurer. If you call my office, we're going to answer. If you have a problem, we're going to solve it. And we'll never forget that we work for you and not the other way around. In closing, our founding fathers meant for America to be governed by the citizens, farmers, bankers, and businessmen. Our founders meant for elected officials to be of the people and work for the people. And as a private citizen seeking public office, I believe it is incumbent upon me to be your servant, to make this office, the state treasury, better than when I found it. So as your next state treasurer, I pledge to work every day finding ways to improve this office on behalf of the state citizens. In fact, I believe all of us, no matter what job we have, can make Mississippi a better place today and a better place for future generations. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, David. And again, we are very happy that everyone is here. I want to take just a few minutes, though, to kind of break up our political speeches to talk about a couple of things that are happening in Mississippi right now that I think are very important for everyone to know about. I hope you had an opportunity to see the news yesterday concerning Mississippi's educational achievements. Yesterday, the National Assessment of Education Progress, which is referred to as NAEP, that's kind of considered the nation's report card, ranked Mississippi #1 in the nation for gains on their test. That is a tremendous advancement in our education here in Mississippi. What it has meant is that we are seeing tremendous progress in the 4th grade on both reading and math scores. In fact, ranking #1 in both of those 2 categories. And for the first time ever, Mississippi's 4th grade math scores exceed the national average. Folks, that is a tremendous step forward. But equally important, our 4th grade reading scores are now at the national average. So when you think about all of the things that have been taking place in education, the emphasis that's being put on making sure that we have students that are prepared to move to the next grade level, that they're reading at the grade level where they should be, we're seeing the impact of that. To show the significance of this, Mississippi was the only state in the nation to see improvements in 3 of the 4 categories that NAEP judges. The 4th grade students made the largest gain in both of those categories in the last 3 years, and that has continued to rank us very high. But our 8th grade students are doing just as well. In fact, we rank number 3 for growth in mathematics, outpacing everyone else in the nation. Between 2017 and 2019, we have been number 1 in improvements in 4th grade math, number 1 in improvements in 4th grade reading, number 3 in improvements in 8th grade math, and number 4 in improvements in 8th grade reading. Folks, we're in the top 5 of all of those categories. Dr. Carrie Wright, our state superintendent, could not be with us this morning because she is actually in Washington at a NAEP meeting talking about the things that are happening in Mississippi. However, we have a brief message from her talking about the important roles that our teachers play in the classroom in making this happen.
What you want them to be doing each and every day. You've got leaders leading buildings. You've got this laser-like and focus on instruction and making sure that all children's needs are being met. And I think that's the beauty of our results. It's everybody. It's not just some children. It's all children, all subgroups are showing progress, and it's our teachers that are making that happen each and every day. So they've got to be excited. It's a great time to be in Mississippi with education. Long told story was Mississippi's always been last, and we're not. And it's a great way to be looking at life for children, because realizing that their educational attainment is only going up. Every measure that we're looking at is only going up. Our assessment results have gone up every year for 4 years. Our graduation rate's at an all-time high. And so to be in Mississippi and have a child involved in education, or to be in education involved in Mississippi, it's just an exciting place to be.
So again, our teachers, our parents, our students are making a difference. I encourage you, we rarely are able to have teachers at Hobnob because today, while we're here, they're in the classroom. But I encourage you, the next time that you have the opportunity, thank a teacher for the hard work that they do. They're making a difference, and the results that our children are showing are really helping make that difference.
How can people get more information?
Go to the MEC website. That's the best source of information.